Welcome to another episode of Behind the Pixel. I'm your host, Joe. Jimmy HerdBerg was one of the first artists whose NFT I purchased, and I agonized over it a lot. If I had seen it today, after the little experience I've had in this space, I wouldn't worry about it so much. I love his work, and that has finally become my only qualification for buying art. So when I met Jimmy, finally, I was a little nervous. Despite having that experience in this space, I still was in awe of Jimmy's work. It's still so cool to me that I got to meet artists I admire. But this time, I actually owned a piece of that artist's work. It felt like I was meeting someone famous. But Jimmy still goes relatively unnoticed in a lot of the art communities I'm in. With a small following on Instagram and Twitter, he still manages to sell out his work each time he lists it for sale. If I had to stereotype an artist, Jimmy would be who I modeled my assumptions off of. He's intelligent, philosophical, European. He has creative talents that know no bounds and an ambivalent demeanor towards any possible future or past success in regards to his art. He does it because he loves to create, and his life revolves around that drive to create. He is grateful, appreciative, and full of life, which influences everything he does. So, just let me give you some backstory about like how I came across you, because we don't know each other at all. You were one of the first NFTs that I bought, actually. And I agonized over it for 2 weeks probably, and I shouldn't have, but I was just like, I don't know, I'm not an artist. I'm an English teacher, and so that's how I got into writing for the company that I write for. And there's enough overlap with art and literature and stuff where it's same themes, same ideas and stuff. So like I can fit in with artists. I can keep up in the conversation and have things to say to you, but I don't trust my instinct on what is good art, but I liked it. I like your stuff, and I was just like,
Thank you.
all right, I thought you were underpriced at the time, but I wasn't sure because I was still like brand new. And so I was just like, you know what? I like it. I'm just going to get it. And I sat on it. And then I guess someone else discovered your work too, because next thing I knew, maybe a month later, everything was gone on OpenSea. And I was like, okay, maybe Jimmy is, maybe I was right about him. So that's how I came across you. And then I took this freelance job and I started writing. And I was like, all right, well, maybe Jimmy just wants to talk about his art. Like, and I'm finding out that everyone that I just like message and talk to is just like, yeah, sure, I'll talk about my work. And it's just like, all these artists are so accessible right now. It's just like, it's awesome to me because like I'm a fan of your work and there's no pretension, there's no anything. Like I feel like an outsider and everyone is just letting me explore this new space, and I'm like bumping elbows with people that are probably going to be famous artists someday, and that's like the coolest thing to me, and that's how why I reached out to you.
I'm super happy. I mean, it's really crazy times, and it's so exciting. I think everything. It's to being a creative has been really hard for many people to get to what you do, and suddenly this happening, and there's like a creative economy in some way.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. It's so important to value creativity in some way. It feels it's a lot of things around, like it's a lot of like data driven things, AI and everything. So the human disappears a little bit. But I
Yeah.
think
Which is interesting because you um are kind of, I mean, you'll have to explain the whole process to me, but like you use an algorithm to create your pieces.
mm,
Uh so like you are, I guess that's probably what you're exploring then, is that like the human disappearing in like the creative process a little bit, but you're still in charge of it. So like maybe explain
yeah,
to me how you go about coming up with this stuff.
yeah. Let's see where to start. But I'm like a coder from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So I started with coding when I was like 12 years, and on home computer.
Mm-hmm.
And my entrance, for me, it was a fantastic world. It was like it's now with NFTs. It's a computer. That's so cool thing
Mm-hmm.
when you
Yeah.
have Jack as well, and it's like everything is new. But from me, I entered it with like a creative perspective. So I tried to animate and do things, made games and stuff,
Oh.
very simple things. I had like, it was my brother's computer, so I borrowed it when he wasn't home, and he had like a book. The name was like 101 games.
Hmm.
I had like, I started like with the first page, and there was a game, so you
Mm-hmm.
had to write it down to the computer. Then you played it, and then you like turned it off, and everything was gone. So I
Oh.
did that like 101 times. So that's basically how I learned to code, and I think that was fantastic. So
Mm-hmm.
I just continued all my life coding in what I do in my work and everything. And I've been very interested in creativity and interactivity coding.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a lot of things for clients, but I haven't done that much for myself. I've been
Mm-hmm.
playing music uh, over time, but now actually, then this Christmas, I had. I have. Should I just go on? I can tell you something now.
No, just like keep going. Like I'm that's I don't have like plans for these podcasts. I'd like to let the conversation go wherever it
Yeah,
goes. So like
yeah,
whatever you decide is important, I just feed off of that too. So like no, by all means keep going. I'm listening.
yeah. No, but I had this fall, hello, last fall. Um, I actually I have tinnitus, so I have this sound in my head all the
Mhm.
time,
Yeah.
and I had that for 10 years. But it's been like higher and higher, so I didn't know what it was. So I went to look it up, and I actually had then I have a healthy tumor in my head
Ugh.
around my nerves to the ear, so that's why I have tinnitus, and it's like it grows. And before I knew more about it, I basically thought I'm going to die now.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
it was
Um
like this thing that you suddenly feel like I need to embrace every day from
yeah.
now on.
Yeah, I get that. My mom
But
died from cancer when I was 20. I'm 37
oh
now, so um
yeah, sorry to
yeah,
hear.
no, it's fine. I've
Mm,
dealt with it. But that idea of, well, you say embrace every day, and that's like a very positive way to look at it. I feel this immense pressure every day
yeah,
to just like create something, or like if I'm, sitting around lazy, it's like, no, I'm not writing today. I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing all these things today because like I know how temperamental everything can be, So
mm.
um, I mean, I'm jealous of your outlook of embracing every day. you know?
But it could be like just being with friends or
Yeah.
something up and so on, and then think about it that
Hmm.
life is fantastic and so on. But it's a healthy thing. I'm not going to die now, and might lose my like be deaf on one ear maybe in the future.
Okay.
But
So will that
that's fine.
kind of cut into your music playing, I guess?
Yeah, So still, it's not a problem. I hear
Okay.
very well. It's a little bit dull, everything, but I have like a hearing aid now, so it's actually removes my tinnitus. So
Oh,
it's actually my life is much better now when I know about it, and I don't have this tinnitus all the time. So
that's
it's a
yeah,
positive.
yeah.
But anyway, so then I started to think about that. I should do more things with like what I would like to do with my life, doing more of my own ideas instead
Hmm.
of just doing clients. So then during Christmas, I started to work with this generative art project again. I've been doing that like for 20 years
Hmm.
in different ways, but never went like satisfied with the results. Was like this like looks this computer can't draw.
Yeah. No, I am familiar with that idea of just like not being satisfied with something you create. Like, I'm still surprised that like people are even like reading the things that I write, and it's like, ugh, I'm not happy with this still, but it's, you put it out there and it's the best you got at the time. And then it's really like up to, like, I bet if I even saw that like first stuff that you did, I would be blown away just because like I see what you're doing, and one, I know I can't do it, but two, like I know that you're putting yourself into your work, and I know you're putting thought into it, and I think that is something that is like very like crucial to like being able to like appreciate art, is knowing that there was time, there was thought, there is a reason for everything that you're doing to it. So like, I mean, I know you would probably um not want anyone to see that early work of yours, and I get that, but yeah, if I ever got a chance to see it, I would love to. um
Yeah, I yeah, I have a lot of files. One night I forgot to turn off my program. So when I woke up the day after, I had like 400 artworks. So, but that was exciting. So I looked through it and choose some of them. But no, but so my the process is I wrote this algorithm that I like can put in a set of parameters. Then the algorithm does their job to draw a lot, like millions of lines,
mhm,
and it's built up around placing out like nodes or planets,
mhm,
and together the like a gravity field, magnetic field creates the path for the lines basically. And so it's a lot of, yeah, you can tweak this in many ways. um, and I've been evolving the algorithm now for some different versions
mhm,
where I add a little bit of extra features.
mhm,
So I love, for instance, synthesizers when I play music. So
mhm,
uh, I for one in one version I added like an oscillator which like can make pulses to the planets, so they like pulsating and so on. So
wow,
for me it's super fun to go from this, that the initial idea was this thing. I've been discussing this with a friend for a long time, but that if you see like everyone as nodes, and how everything is about the relations between the nodes. So now I meet you, we meet each other, and we start like a relation in between each other,
mhm,
and the node isn't that important. So you as a person isn't that important. It's your relations to other nodes that makes what you are. So that is like the basic idea of it. That and I think I like that idea because it's like taking the focus from like a specific person.
mhm,
We all together in something. We are a network, And I can also you can also see it in so many things. I think internet is like the digital version,
Mm-hmm.
and our parallel world where we building relations through all social media and so on. And if
Right.
you just look, for instance, on Twitter, and the amount of followers and so on you have, is that's your relations.
Mm-hmm.
So and then you're building a strong node
Mm-hmm.
with your in some way. So that was like the theory behind it when I started with this.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't a clue how it would look, or I had like thoughts about it, but I just added like wrote this code with this like theory, and then started to tweak things. And what's so strange, sometimes when I change some parameters, everything suddenly became something different. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's basically the same code for all artworks, but they look very different.
They look
So it's
completely different. Some of them, like they're all clustered together, and then other ones, they almost look like solar flares
yeah,
in some of your work, and it's crazy like how different they all are, and you're just making tiny little tweaks to each
yeah,
rendition. It's nothing
yeah.
that.
It could be like changing a number of,
Mm-hmm.
it's about, I don't know now, 20, 30 parameters, something, but change a little bit and then totally other like results. So my like creative process is like working now with these parameters, and then working with algorithms sometimes as well, and see what happens. And
Mm.
yeah, I think for me it's so fun to that it can really surprise me what happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like, it's fun to get the feedback from people because people see so much things in it, and I'm like, yeah, that's fantastic.
That's great. I didn't I didn't know that I intended that. And I think like that's also one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, because like I had my own theories about like what you were exploring and things like that. And I mean, there's always that gravitational pull in all of your pieces. So like I knew it was something in that attraction and give and take and pull. And when you explained it about like people and that relationship aspect of it, like it makes total sense. It's there. And I think that I'll say there are three aspects to art where it's you, the artist, creating it, you're exploring an idea and saying something. There's the individual interpreting it and what I bring to the table. But then there's the discussion that goes along with it. And then your work becomes this completely other thing, because it's not just, it's like you said, it's all of us together interacting, conversing about it. And I don't know, I think that's what actually is art. Like you can see a pretty picture and just say like, oh, that's beautiful, but that's not enough. It's deeper than that. It is, you say, you're talking about this idea with your friends and stuff, like there's a lot of backstory just to something that you're changing a number in here. Like it's a lot bigger than just a simple picture, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think I mean, it's the community that decides like the value of art in some way, and
Mm-hmm.
it it grows by people discuss and through their relations in some way. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it yeah.
Um I've talked to other artists that
Mhm.
do generative work like yourself, but they'll take images of things, run it through GAN, um, and out pops this image, and they tweak it just like you. They have gotten negative feedback about whether or not what they're doing is actually art,
Mhm.
because they're using a machine. Have you had a similar experience with that? I think you
Not now.
I think you. It sounds like you surround yourself with very supportive, healthy people. So it's quite possible you haven't had this experience.
No, but when I was around 20 something, I was in New York and we went to like MoMA or something.
Hmm.
And we discussed digital art, me and my girlfriend.
Hmm.
And this was like 90, beginning of 90,
Hmm.
the 90s. So, and I just said like, well, we will do this with computers in the future, like art. And she was so angry about it. She was like, you can't do that. Why? That's not art. You can't use a computer to make art. And I just thought about that the other day because like now it happens and it's like 30 years later. It took a lot of time, but I mean, it started with when internet arrived. This was before internet.
Yes, I'm. Like I said, I'm 37. I remember that time before the internet.
Yeah, but it's a fantastic world. I think it's. I'm so happy to be part of everything. I mean,
Hmm.
to be part of this super technology change of the
Hmm.
world. Um, I'm a very optimist to things, but I see there's a lot of like challenges with the future and so on. So,
Hmm.
but I think, I mean, I know the humanity can solve the future in some way, but
Yeah.
it takes some.
Do you think? And maybe you don't have an answer to this yet. Then how do you grapple with that at all? Like, because like you said, you're optimist and you do believe in humanity, and um, I think I became an English teacher because the humanities and our personal connections to each other and just society, like that's what makes life worth living. It's not the things that you have, the things that you do and stuff. It's, the people that are there with you when things happen. So, and that's probably because, I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons for why you're so optimistic and have that, you know, innate belief in human nature. But I know it's because, you know, I see life as very fragile and temperamental. So those personal connections are everything. Do you
Mm,
grapple with using technology as much as you do to create your art to save humanity? Because we're obviously driving forward into a more digital age and where technology is taking over every other aspect. Um, do you like, is that something that you think about, worry about? I doubt you worry. You see,
well, no, but I think it's so important that we have a discussion around the future altogether.
hmm.
I don't feel we have that.
Hmm.
It's not so many people understanding what happens, and I think it's super important that we together need to start to discuss how would we like to have the future. What should we do with all the technology?
Hmm.
The possibilities are there, but we need together decide how to use it in a good way
Hmm.
because it can go in so many wrong ways. And
Hmm.
so
So
for
how do you
me, it's
see social media then? Because like you're right, we don't have those discussions about how it should be used in the future. We kind of just, there's this ambivalent like, oh well, society will determine how it's used when it's actually time to decide. But now we're in this age where things like Facebook and Twitter are making decisions about free speech and what is allowed, and um, just the vast reach that it has, where hate speech is being amplified to all these other countries that I don't see as a good thing. And everyone's like, oh well, we'll figure it out as we go. That's the
mm,
stuff that um, concerns me.
yeah, yeah, me too. I mean, we've been trusting those big companies for a long time, and
Hmm.
there's been happening a lot of bad things behind the doors. So yeah, no, I think it's problematic, absolutely. But I don't sit on the solution.
That's what I was afraid. I was hoping you had more insight than myself.
But I think the community together
Hmm.
and the discussion is super important to start that and
Hmm.
have politicians and everyone care about it. In
Hmm.
Sweden, I don't feel we discuss it here in that way.
Hmm.
So, but
And that's strange because like I'm here in the States, um,
mm,
and we always look to Sweden, Switzerland, Germany as like the progressive examples we want to strive to. Well, not we collectively as a country, maybe half of us are like,
mm,
well, maybe we should be moving over there to hang out with you guys, whether you want us or not. Um, but that's interesting. You guys, you feel like it's not discussed enough there still?
I think, I mean, Sweden it's a great country. It's so many good things here. Uh, but I mean, we are in the front when it comes to technology as well with
Mm-hmm.
companies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this, yeah, this question about the future needs to like yeah, have a little bit more focus on that.
Hmm.
I don't know how the difference between countries and so on, but
Yeah. um, you have the different iterations between G12, G13, G14. Like, do you change those colors yourself? Are they exploring different things? Because G12 is I bought one of the pieces from that
mhm,
set, and I know that dealt with gravity, but the other ones seem to deal with um, like oceanography in a way, because the colors are completely different and beautiful. Is there something different going on there? Like, what's the idea behind that stuff?
um, actually, it's not any big changes in the code between them. It's
Hmm.
just small tweaks.
Hmm.
Um, I used one color palette very intense along the way.
Hmm.
So sometimes I changed the palette a little bit, but it's actually the same sometimes. And then
Hmm.
there is like the inverted colors as well. In some dark ones, then it's like
Hmm.
inverted. So, but let's see. Yeah, it happened something with G14. It went into like organic trees or something in
Hmm.
another way. I changed some parts in like the main part of the algorithm. I don't really remember exactly, but I think I tried to use like the physical laws from the beginning,
Hmm.
and I made some mistakes in G12, so it wasn't like exactly like the physical laws, but I
Hmm.
think it got a really good expression. But I think I tried to solve that problem in G14 and
Hmm.
make it more right. So that I think that was the key change for that one.
Hmm. Um, do you see yourself continuing down this? Like, I haven't seen you post anything like new in a while. So, are you taking a break from it, or I don't know? What are your plans, really?
Yeah, but I took a break for like I don't know now a month or something. It was so hysteric. I started like 1st of February, I think,
Hmm.
and I sold like more than 100 pieces in 2 weeks or something. So I didn't understand what happened. So it went so fast. So
What's that? What's that feeling like when? Because you said you've been like creating like most of your life. Like, have you ever experienced anything like that before?
Mm, no, this was a new feeling that way. I I mean, I'm doing like digital experiences, so websites and stuff. So
Okay.
I did one. I did one time a site, and I know when I launched it, I I sent a tweet, and then I saw like retweet, 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 and it was like, wow, something happened here. And then that was a little bit the same feeling, and this was 10 years ago, so it was it's kind of old now, but it was like one new visitor every
Hmm.
second or something. So it that was a really nice feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to London the day after to visit another client, and he showed me the site we released and said, "Have you seen this? This is amazing." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I've seen it." And he looked into my eyes and said, "You did it?" So that was actually some kind of similar feeling
Okay.
when something takes off in
Mm-hmm.
that way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I imagine this was possibly more rewarding because there was hopefully more financially rewarding process. Like, is this going to be something that, um, I mean, I don't see you stopping creating because it's
Mm.
just inherent to you. Like, do you see yourself still selling NFTs like in a few months or coming back to it? Or has this like kind of, I don't know,
No, I
sustain?
will continue. Uh, I thought it was good to have a break a little bit because it was so much of everything, and now I'm more viewing what people are doing and see how things evolve, and I think that's super exciting. And there's so many artists coming in every day, and yeah. But my next step is that I will try to take the algorithm into another software.
Hmm.
So using it in a 3D software instead. So
That's
I can
good.
get it. Yeah, I think that could be something to have a 3D object coming out of it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But you're talking to a biased party in because I love your work. So yeah.
We
Um,
will see. It might look like a mess.
y-
Like,
w-
I don't
I, still, like, I mean, the things that you probably see as a mess, I still see as like they're incredible because um, I know that it takes thought and time to do it, and it's tough because I mean, I've talked about this with other people, um, how we've completely devalued digital art in general. And I think
know.
Beeple is actually on Time Magazine here this month, and
Mm,
he made a statement that said he wanted to show his, I think it's Photoshop that he was using, and I could be wrong. It looked like Adobe, but he said I wanted to show this to make people understand that these digital pieces don't just appear out of thin air.
mm,
We take for granted how much time and effort these things take and how much thought you put into it because they're everywhere and we can just like, oh yeah, I just right click save and look, I'm an artist now. And it's not that simple because I've tried it. I'm not good. I know I can't do what you do. It's not my gift. So um yeah, it's just, I mean, it's kind of, it's not like your girlfriend, but it's also, it's weird how that shift has happened from the 90s where your girlfriend says, "No, that's not art." And we've completely gone like, "Oh wow, this is great," to, "Oh yeah, anyone can do that, so it's not that big a deal." That arc is fascinating.
mm. Yeah. Mm.
Um but you have I'm also envious of your you've got a sense of there's always that fear of missing out that people experience, which is why I think this is being flooded with artists every day. Everyone
Yeah.
has got a new one, but like you taking a step back, I think is actually a good thing because now you can kind of see what's happening, and I think that's actually the best way to go for you.
Mm, yeah, I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how they're so. I mean, this is perfect for like motion graphic artists and so on. That they're like they never had the possibility to sell their work in a good way before,
Mm-hmm.
compared to like still images and so on.
Right.
If that's something you can sell as a print and so on, it's been difficult to sell those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's I think it's you need so many skills to do motion graphics. You need to know so many things about photography, the perspective and colors and motion, and it's so much. So I think it's like payback time for so many artists.
Right. Yeah. Um, right. Because they've had to take on clients like you said,
Yeah,
and do work for them. And it's not, we've all like kind of had to do that. Like anyone that is creative or in one of those fields, philosophy, literature, we've had to make decisions to survive, you know?
yeah,
And that kind of kills the creativity in all of us in some ways
yeah,
because um, you're right. This is payback for not valuing creativity for
yeah.
years, you know?
I think also when social media arrived, there was like before, if you had clients, they could pay like $100,000 to make like a video campaign or something. And with social media, suddenly you need to have like hundred of videos and content, massive like amount of content, and the prices just like went down to $1,000. Like,
Yeah.
so it's been so. I think the last years have been very difficult for many creatives in the business to like get things going money wise.
Are you going to start charging your clients more now that you're a little more recognized? Or do you feel like you're still, um, do you, like, I guess, do you feel you've kind of been validated in your creative aspect at all?
I think I have great clients, and yeah, they pay me for what I do. I think it's I'm super happy.
Hmm.
I'm been like I'm been lucky to also have the possibility to work with great clients and have the possibility also when I don't have so many clients that I don't need to work or have a salary every month. So
Hmm.
because I have a like pretty cheap life,
Hmm.
so buying those bottle of wines sometimes. But so I haven't. I mean, it's easy that you start to do like other kind of work that you maybe don't like to do, going in
Hmm.
directions like I don't know. Many in my business like started to do like banner ads and stuff.
Oh,
So
wow.
I mean, it could be yeah. So I think I'm very lucky with my clients, and
Hmm.
but I start. It's a lot of. Yeah, I mean, they like it a lot what I'm doing with my art. So and I have some architect friends, so like asking if we maybe can do something together. That was basically why I met this guy yesterday. We were supposed to talk about like generate something for a room, like
Hmm.
carpet, walls, and everything.
Ooh.
So, but we never came to that discussion yesterday. So,
I spent 5 hours with him, 2 bottles of wine, and we never had the discussion.
but so that I said that as something fun, that I maybe have the possibility to do more things with my own
Mhm.
artwork.
Um, so do you feel like you've made it yet? Like, do you feel like confident? Like, yeah, I'm Jimmy HerdBerg. Pay attention to me. Or do you still feel just like an independent artist that's just lucky to that some of your work sold?
But I'm very happy that people like my work,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, maybe I call myself more like a creative than an artist,
Okay.
but I always I love things that or my work always tends to go more into art than like marketing in some
Mm-hmm.
way. So, no, but so I'm very happy about that. I have the possibility to do this, and I don't know. For me, I when I did this during Christmas, I basically didn't know about crypto.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, I maybe heard about it, but
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
know about it. So I'm very happy to just find that world and that community and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super happy. I mean, I had that such a great timing. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
during my vacation, I did like 100 artworks.
Mm-hmm.
Then find crypto, sold everything. So, in like 2 weeks. So it's
Yeah. Couldn't have gone any better.
so I know that's so I'm super happy,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's awesome.
so
I'm happy for
yeah.
you. And I'm glad we got a chance to talk. Because, um, like I said, it's just, I do feel lucky every day that I get to write about this stuff and talk to people about art, because I think this stuff is important. And I do love teaching. Um,
Mm,
it's awesome because of that connection. But like, this is, since I'm a stay at home dad right now, like, this has been something good to like bridge the gap, because you miss that like intellectual discussion around this stuff.
mm,
And I do miss talking to other people that are intellectualizing art and philosophy and just existential ideas. It's very fulfilling being able to talk to um, people I'm a fan of. Um, that'll be my last question. Is it weird to think that that you have fans of your work? Because that's like, there's no other way we would have connected other than, wow, I'm a fan of Jimmy's. I got to call him and talk to him. Like, I'm all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. Is that a weird thought to you?
no, but I mean, I met pretty many new people
Hmm.
in the community where which I like. Yeah, we talk sometimes over uh, different channels, but and yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Hmm.
I mean, it's I'm pretty social in my
Yeah, I,
work and
I
so
can
on.
tell.
Okay. But I meet a lot of people.
Right.
But in the same time, it's not obvious that you do that. It's and now with
Mm,
COVID-19 and everything,
right.
it's not the easiest way. So and to meet people like all over the world in this way, it's I'm so I'm super happy about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, yeah. Well, I'm super happy for you. I hope we keep talking and keep bumping into each other. Um,
Mm.
maybe when this is all over and our website takes off and we're millionaires, I'll come and buy you a bottle of wine over in Sweden with my daughter, and you can show us around.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I will show you everything you need to see here.
Yeah. That'd be
I'm
great.
super happy you invited me, and I think it's great you doing this pod, and
Hmm.
it's and I think it's so exciting now in the start of something,
Yeah.
and like what you're doing, and to be part of those first podcasts about this.
Yeah.
Like we have
It's.
one from Sweden now. I think the first one started like 2 weeks ago or something.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
It's.
it's
Yeah, it's weird. Like, and that's why I asked you about like if it's weird to think that you have like fans of your work, because every day it's bizarre to me that anyone's even listening, and that like all I did was respond to a post on Reddit, because they were looking
Mm,
for someone to write about NFTs and stuff, and I was like, well, I'm buying them, like, and I write, so why can't I write about it? And people just kept like opening doors, and all I'm doing is emailing people just like, hey, you want to talk to me? And they're like, yeah, I'll talk to you. Because
mm,
I am social like you, and I'm cooped
yeah,
up with a 2-year-old, so I need people to talk to. So it's just
oh,
like
that's good.
it's crazy, and they're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, go talk to whoever you want, and people keep listening. It's crazy.
Mm,
It's crazy, all of it.
yeah.
So, well, I won't keep you much longer. This was awesome. Um, yeah, I'm really glad we got a chance to talk.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
and
I'll
let's see in the future.
yeah, absolutely. Next time you have something come out, um,
Mm,
I'll reach out again and see what you want to talk about, and we'll go from there. But yeah, thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it.
thank you
All
very
right,
much.
I'll talk to you
Yeah.
soon, Jimmy. I'd like to thank my guests for taking the time to speak with me. And if you liked what you heard, like, subscribe, and share it. Thanks for listening.